What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday afternoon. Ready to talk some fights with my man, Big Marley. 12 fights at the Apex. Some solid fights. It's an interesting DFS card. 6 of the 12 fights expected to finish. 4 of the 12 fighters are minus 300 or greater. I think it's a solid DFS card. Right now at our initial ownership, only one fighter above 50%. I wouldn't even be surprised if no fighters were above 50%. That's always good. No single-digit owned fighter as well. So pretty spread out for 12 fights. Fingers crossed we keep all 12. Throw it to you, Big Marley. How are we doing on this fine Thursday afternoon?
Yeah, not bad. Excited to use the Saber Sim optimizer for this card. I think I'm just going to go after the mini max, throw 150 at it because I think it's a tough card. I have a lot of underdogs winning, so I feel like I could leave $2,500 on the table and be okay with it this week. So it could be a week I can take it down solo or I could just get crushed, but we'll see how it goes.
Hey, I love it. You mentioned Saber Sim. Many of you probably know, huge announcement we had on Monday, Tambo and Hoop. We did partner with Saber Sim, the best optimizer out there. I'll screen share it for a sec. I'm gonna screen share the stone throughout MMA. I would say on Saber Sim too, especially if you're using contest sims, don't build until Saturday, the day of. I still would probably build Saturday. I know odds are updated. There is line movement. Saber does update that stuff, so it changes in the back end. So I'd be a little hesitant building before Saturday. If you do want Saber's projections, they have them right there. If you have the starter plan and above, otherwise our SHIPIT Nation projections and ownership will be loaded. Right now this is Saber Sim, but this is kind of how the look of it is. This min-max tool, I use that a lot. And right here, they have an auto rule for you, a group. Don't use opposing fighters. So that is a huge rule I use in DFS. If you do want to stack, you can go and uncheck that button. I always leave it on. I do not like to stack, but you can see you can sort by salary. You can X fighters out. You can make groups. And here, add new rule, group players around if you want. I did a lot of this on the NBA show. So I'm really excited to use it for MMA. If you have contest sims, I'll pull up the packages right now. Most people have the core. If you did have Shiptimizer with us prior, you're grandfathered in. Again, I'm speaking to people that know this by now. We've had it since Monday. It's been a lot of fun to mess around with. 150 teams do get late swap for sports like NBA. MMA, you'd be able to build 150 teams, though. $30 more, the starter, which we believe is the best value. 350 teams more you're able to build, so 500. And you do get Saber Sim's ownership and projections, whereas in the core, you would just get SHIPIT Nations. With Saber Sims, you also get it for like tennis, college basketball. Even if we don't offer the sports, they have projections and ownership. You are able to use it with that. And contest flashback, what that is you're able to go back in sports in certain contests, look at what the pros did. Then the contest sims, like I was talking, allows you to build 5,000 teams. The ultimate plan allows you to do projections, ownership, contest flashback, but it does have the sims. And if you want to look what that is, just go to sabersim.com, or SaberSim on YouTube, type in the contest sims. They will describe it a lot more in depth, but there's a lot going on. It's like simulating builds against the field, how many times it takes first place. A lot of stuff goes into it. But SaberSim's really cool for all sports. But MMA, you can do like ownership groupings. You can group players. It's easy to fade stuff. And they do take into consideration projection ownership when you do build these teams. They can sort it by like 500. Here, let me do it quick. Instead of trying to explain it. So I just made 2 changes to the pool. I'll run 150 teams quick. Big Marley, I guess when this is going, I need broad. Here, look at that, actually. So simple. So what you can do is you can sort by, here, what was the path I'm saying? So there's min unique, stuff like that. If you're building 50 teams, I was going to say something with ownership. You can sort it by ownership. Here you go. This is one thing to do. Sort by ownership. You can see like 230, 229, 228. Then you can make a rule if you want and say add new filter, like hide any ownership. Geo means another tool or another thing that does product ownership. I think it's even better to use. There's a formula you have to type in, though. Ask in the Discord. I know Tweezy and Rio talked about it in the NBA chat. You can sort by geo mean. That's even better than ownership. It's the same concept, though. But like hide ownership greater than, and just say like 205, whatever number you want to put in here. Then it takes out teams that are less than that. Now you will only have teams 205 ownership and lower. Little stuff like that is how you can get different with SaberSim. Take chalkier teams out. It allows you to add a little twist to things. So that's a little introduction on SaberSim. Again, I'm going to be sharing on, or I'm going to be showing the stone because it shows so much like significant strikes per minute, everything like that. But yeah, min, max, you can X players or fighters out. You can lock fighters, and they will not give you any two fighters against each other with the build. So definitely come over, check it out if you want to. Again, you will not find a better deal out there. The content plus SaberSim, the best partnership, most valuable partnership. Very, very exciting stuff over here. Grand scheme overviews, Big Marley, while I switch to the stone. Are you locking any fights? I don't have it up yet, but how many 5-star fights do you have? Any rules, anything you're going to be doing before we go fight by fight?
Definitely not locking any fights on this one. I'm cool Xing out a couple fighters, but no 1-star fights on the card overall. And I have 3 5-stars, but man, I could have gone down to 0, to be honest with you. I think it's a tough card. I don't absolutely love any fight, so I'm just going to try and get different, make sure I don't hate my lineups too much, but I probably have at least 4 fades on this card, so I want to try and limit it down as much as I can and then go after it.
I like it. I have 4 fades too, so I'm curious to see if they all line up. Last thing to note, our SHIPIT Nation projections, again, that was SaberSim. Our projections ownership will be up when all our content is up. I take everyone in the Discord, usually around like the 1-2 Eastern mark. So then that'll be auto updated into SaberSim. All right, let's get into it. Again, Ben, actually I shouldn't say it again. Ben, Jason, YSN, Easy, Colton. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Like button, subscribe button goes a long way. First fight of the night, Ramazan Temirov is the higher price fighter, 8,400, but finds himself as a underdog to Charles Johnson, minus 132 Johnson. Temirov plus 112, plus 135 for this fight to finish. Temirov plus 250. Inside the distance, Johnson plus 360. Now, a lot of line movement in this one, Big Marley. So we had Temirov open the favorite, Johnson opened the favorite at minus 155. Couple days later, Temirov got a good amount of money. He became the favorite. Then Charles Johnson took money back just yesterday. It was a big bet yesterday. Now then he became the favorite. This line has jumped all over the place. As you see, when pricing was released on Monday, Temirov was the favorite. That's why it's 8,400, 7,800. Just a day later, Johnson was the favorite. So this line has been all over the place. Johnson looks to be around minus 130 and staying there. His inside the distance prop, I will say, open plus 450, now plus 360. That's got a lot of steam. Just today was plus 400 earlier. That's interesting stuff because at Johnson, who's going to get more ownership naturally because he's the favorite as a dog price. He has solid volume. He has good cardio. But if he doesn't finish this fight, you could be looking at 78. I don't know if I'd want that at like 20% or whatever he could be. We even have higher than 20%. I'm not sure I love it at the ownership we have. Temirov's lower owned. He's leveraged. Better inside the distance prop. When I wrote in the slate plan, he's plus 5. It was 500, now 550 to win in round 1. That's 16%. I'm not even sure he's going to come in 16% owned. So just looking at that, I'd be fine matching the field. Not a fight I want to go crazy on. You have it at 2 stars, so it looks like you see it similar.
Yeah, I don't really have a strong lean on who wins the fight. I think Temirov is more dangerous, especially early in the fight. I think he is going to take round 1, but they're both primarily strikers. So I don't expect either one of them to have any sort of wrestling game plan. If I had to favor one for the wrestling, I would favor Temirov because his name ends in a V and Charles Johnson struggles off his back. But I'm expecting them both to strike, and Temirov has the higher ceiling with his first round knockout potential. But Johnson's he's too durable for Temirov to have any chance at 129 again. So I really don't care for Temirov too much. Johnson as a dog, I liked more earlier in the week when he was an actual dog, but now he's a favorite, and I bumped the ownership up like 10% for that reason. and now I like him less. So I moved it to a 2-star because I think this fight is now mostly on the Johnson side is going to get more owned than it should. So I probably prefer Timarov as my preferred play just to get different. Maybe he can come out with something crazy in the first round and land something big. But overall, I think the winner does score in the 70s here, and they're not going to make the optimal lineup. So I'll be targeting other fights heavier. I'm not against Xing one or both of these guys out, but I'd say with like 20 lineups or less, I'd be okay with that. 150, I don't think I have the balls for that, though.
I definitely don't have the balls for that. Even 20 or less, like Tamarov, low owned, leverage off of chalk, solid inside the distance prop. He has power, so I'm not going to fade that. Charles Johnson fading a 7,800 minus 132 favorite. Tamarov can slow down maybe a little too. I don't love the fight. I definitely would rather fade it than go all in, but there's other fades I have on this card that I don't need to make that big of a stand. Tamarov's my preferred play. I should have thrown it to you right away. You said pretty much everything I did would have saved some breath. What's going on, Stacks? All right, let's keep it rolling. Next fight on the card. Women's division, the first of two. Both the women's fights are the most likely to go the distance, though. This one, Luana Carolina, minus 124, taking on Montana De La Rosa, plus 104. Plus 300 for this fight to finish. Montana, the underdog, higher or better inside the distance prop at plus 425. Carolina plus 725. Easy fight for me. Not one I like much, but give me the Montana side as my preferred play. The reason for that, it's striker in Luana versus wrestler in Montana. If someone is optimal or hits their 99th percentile outcome, Montana is more likely to be on that optimal. So, yeah, she's my preferred play. I'll get some. I don't think I'm going to play Luana unless you think she can get a knockout, I guess, which plus 725, not good. And, I mean, it's even been going the wrong way, too. It opened plus 675.
Yeah, I'm not playing Luana. If she gets a knockout, I'm done early in the card probably. I'm on the De La Rosa side in this one. I think it's close to a coin flip. Carolina's our striker. De La Rosa's our grappler. If Carolina wins, I think she's going to struggle to hit 10x. If De La Rosa wins, I think she should hit 10x or more, have like maybe a 90-point ceiling. So definitely give me De La Rosa for the DFS side, De La Rosa or pass all around in this one. And if I actually had to make a slight favorite, I think I'd choose De La Rosa here. So I will get some of her and I'll X out Carolina.
You betting her at all?
No, I haven't bet her yet, but I'm not against it.
Yeah. It's women's MMA. Who the heck knows at the end of the day? All right, let's keep it going. Next fight should be a pretty fun one. Danny Silva minus 210 taking on Lucas Almeida plus 180, minus 165 for this fight to finish. Silva plus 145 inside the distance. Almeida plus 240. Some line movement in this one. This fight opened to finish minus 105. Now it's minus 165. You absolutely love to see it. This fight opened to pick 'em, minus 110 apiece. Danny Silva instantly took a good amount of money to like the minus 235 range, has kind of stayed around there ever since. I'm not going to lie. I agree more with the opening line, or at least closer to that, than I do minus 210. Give me the dog in Almeida. I know Colton was trying to get some dogs. I'm taking Almeida. If he can stay on the feet, I think he's the better striker, the more dangerous striker. Silva's a junkyard dog, but he's hittable. Silva does have the wrestling upside, though. Almeida not great off his back, so I like this fight a lot. Tell me why you have it a 3-star instead of 4. I was kind of surprised by that.
So I'm really not sure on this one. I was going to ask you to break it down first because I'm just not sure how it plays out. I could see it being real close, scoring under 10x on either side. I could see Silva going at a high pace, mixing in a lot of takedowns, having a high ceiling. I could see Almeida finishing him, having a high ceiling. So I have no idea on this one. So I threw everything right in the middle, 3 stars for each one of them, 3 stars in the middle, and then I'll adjust it a little bit more tomorrow if I need to. But I'm not against 4 stars at all. And I think yeah, I probably do agree. I'd rather go with the underdog in this one, but shit, I don't know. Maybe if I have $2,500 left on the table in this one, and I can have either one, it's like shit. I'd probably choose Silva in that case.
I would choose Silva too. I'd be lying if I went Almeida there. I mean, the thing about like who scores 110 plus more? Silva by a mile because he has that wrestling out. Where Almeida, he doesn't. Like he needs a knockout, and he like not all knockouts, not even most knockouts score 110 plus. The thing is the pricing though. He doesn't need 110 at the end of the day. I love this fight though, I love seeing a minus 105 opener for the fight to finish get all the way down to minus 165. Like that's a lot of money on the under. Looking at the stone, I put these up on Monday. You can see minus 125 for this fight to finish Monday. So it's taken 40 cents in a couple days. I love like the inside the distance prop. Both guys individually. Silva open plus 195, now plus 145. Almeida plus 335, now plus 240. Silva he comes forward. He's hittable. I think we get a finish. If we don't, probably doesn't get there. Right now we have ownership relatively in check though. Like nothing I'd be scared of for this 12 fight card.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I'll add it in my notes over at shippingnation.com.
There we go. Let's keep it rolling. The second of two fights, women's fights, and this one the most likely to go the distance on the card. JJ Eldrick minus 210 taking on Andrea Lee at plus 180. Fight to go the distance minus 500. Both girls plus 575 inside the distance. Yeah, you're definitely not playing JJ Eldrick, and I agree. Andrea Lee, though, talk to me. 5-fight losing streak. Is she winning this? If she does win this, what's she scoring? I was just going to full fade this fight. I did debate some Lee, though, because she's a dog. It's women's MMA. She definitely can win. If you look at her, the stone, like 4.71 significant strikes per minute, solid. 1.7 takedowns, great. Thing is, I don't know if she's taking Eldrick down. How do you see this fight going?
I just don't understand the line in this one. The 5-fight losing streak is why the line is the way it is. But skill-wise, I feel like I kind of like Lee to be a slight favorite in this one. Just on the eye test alone, I think she throws the crisper strikes, the harder strikes. I think she is the more aggressive wrestler. I think she's probably better in top control. And then if you look at stats on this one, she lands more strikes per minute. She gets hit less. She lands more takedowns at a higher accuracy, and she averages more submission attempts too. I don't understand this line at all. I already bet Lee. Not that I feel good about her winning. It's just that I think that there's a lot of value in her at this price. On DraftKings, though, I don't think she has a big ceiling. She's probably playing for about 80 points or so. Unless she does have wrestling success, I think she could get upper 80s in this one. So I'm not against playing Lee in this one. And I didn't like putting her as 5 stars because it almost looks like I do want Lee. But I'm like, but it's 2 stars as a whole in this one, and I'm not going to play Aldridge at all. I don't think Aldridge has any real chance at 10x in this fight. So maybe she does win the fight and I lose my bet, but I'm just going to be low on this one in DFS. Maybe I won't even play Lee in DFS because I already have my action there. But I think she wins the fight, so I'll probably get some exposure.
Yeah, if you think a dog wins the fight, especially like I would definitely play her too. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm definitely not playing Aldrich. It's Lee or pass, dog or pass in this one. We think for both women's fights, dog or pass at the money line at the prices. Yeah, I got nothing more to add on that one. As you can see, as you go up the card, a lot more finishes. Minus 120, 400, 400, 400. Some of these first couple expected to go the distance, and main card should ramp up the violence. I mean, man, we won't have as much violence as we did last week, though, Big Marley. How insane was that card? Ricky Simone? Oh, baby.
Oh, man, I ended up betting Basharat late with somebody else, and I was like, God damn it. I don't know what I did last week, but I missed most of the card. I saw like the main event and like the first or second fight, but I don't know. I don't even know.
You saw the worst fight. Yeah. Man, that card was awesome for sure. Yeah. Hopefully we get half a card as good as that one, but I'm not sure this fight will be. I don't know. Interesting. Old man, Douglas Silva de Andrade, a big underdog at plus 280 against John Castaneda, who's minus 340, plus 180 for this fight to finish. Both guys are plus 360 inside the distance. So a big underdog for Douglas. And as you can see, Castaneda's taken a good amount of money since Monday. minus 260 Castaneda was Monday, now minus 340. This fight was plus 195 to finish Monday, now plus 180. So Castaneda and the under, some money has come in on. Yeah, I'm on the Castaneda side too. Douglas Silva de Andrade hasn't looked great as of late. He's low volume. He's old. If you just look at him like in a bar fight, like you look at both their physiques, you're going to pick Douglas Silva de Andrade. This dude, I'm not saying he's on the juice. He probably is, but this dude is absolutely a freak. John Castaneda, just a high pace, walks forward, tough, can mix in wrestling, solid striking, should have the volume advantage. I prefer Castaneda even at 1,600 more as a pivot in this upper tier. I think he can break Douglas and eventually get a finish, and that could be 105, 110. I would take that all day. Obviously, that's a big ceiling performance from him at ownership and at what's expected. But yeah, I think Castaneda can break Douglas, and I'll play some Douglas because he's always live for that one-shot kill, but I don't think he lands it.
Yeah, I think it's knockout or bust for Andrade, especially DraftKings. DFS wise. I'm probably going to fade him though, just because I like enough underdogs on this card. I'd rather take my chances on them. My issue in this fight is I just don't know that Castaneda scores enough. If he's just a little tentative because of Andrade's power, he's probably not going to put up a whole lot of volume in this one. I'd like him to wrestle, but I don't know how easy it's going to be to get Andrade to the ground. Or even once he's on the ground, I don't know how easy it'll be then either, to be honest. So I just don't know what I'm going to do with Castaneda. I think I'll be able to afford him, so that'll probably put me on him a little bit. But I like other favorites more, so that's why I got this one as a 2-star. But give me Castaneda to win, probably 30-27.
I definitely agree. I prefer many other favorites too. Like, you didn't hit my top 4 in my tier rankings, but he's also going to be one of the lower owned guys in the upper tier. So if I'm eating a lot of chalk, I can see a path for Castaneda. I will include him. But I agree with you. 2-star, that's where I would have ranked it as well. Next fight on the card, Chepe Mariscal, minus 400, taking a Ricardo Ramos, plus 300, minus 190 for this fight to finish. Chepe, minus 155 inside the distance. Ricardo, plus 675. Again, looking at this from Monday, Ramos has taken some money, minus 500, now minus 400. Inside the distance has stayed the same. I think this line is a little wide. It definitely got out of hand, got all the way down to minus 500 was peak. Open minus 180. Not surprised to see where it went. I mean, Damon Jackson, Chepe absolutely dominated him, looked great. Ramos does not look great as of late by any means. But it was only a couple fights ago since he like a pick-em against Jourdain, the spinning or back elbow against Danny Chavez. I was there. Austin, Texas, one of the best knockouts I've seen. Like, Ramos has skill, but cardio questionable, and he definitely will quit if the going gets tough. I like this fight for DFS. I think Ramos a live dog. I think Chepe could break Ramos and put up another big score. So, yeah, I'll be playing this one. What about you?
Yeah, I'll be on this one for sure. This is one of my 5 stars for now, but I might move it to a 4-star though, because I like the Chepe side a lot, but it's also because of his last fight, which everyone else is going to like him a lot because of that fight too. I have him as the highest owned guy on the card because of recency bias, and because I think there's enough playable dogs where people will be able to afford them. And he's only $9,400 as the most expensive guy on the card. So I just think all of that will put him up there in ownership. But yeah, like a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have for sure been betting Ramos in this fight. I was a Ramos guy, but now he's a flake, and he doesn't do much of anything. I think he is the better submission grappler in this one. I think he could go for takedowns, but he's not aggressive. Chepe's a much more aggressive wrestler. He's much more aggressive on the feet too, so he's way more likely to get a knockout. So if anyone is going to get 120 points here, it's Chepe. But I'm not going to lay minus 500 for him to even win the fight. I think Ramos is alive, but it's probably a submission or bust for Ramos, or a spinning knockout for Ramos to have any chance at the optimal. I mean, not the optimal, at a ceiling score. But at 6,800, what do we need? If I told you he got 71. Are you okay? How much? Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably
I mean, just like your thing with Andrea Lee, like I'll sign up for underdogs this week. If we look in the lower tier, 7,500 and below, like plus 180, 210, 305, 180, 250, 375, 220, 170. Like, and even some of these like don't even have a crazy upside. It wouldn't be shocking if 10 of the 12 favorites win this week, is I guess moral of the story what I'm saying. So 6,800 allows you to do a lot.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people on this card that just don't have ceilings this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested, I guess, in both sides. I'll probably be, I don't know what the heck. I'll probably be around the field or a little bit higher on both. Not sure. I'll update everything in the notes. This one could change to a 4-star. It could change to 3-3 on the fighter ring, because I don't know what the heck I'm going to do on this one, but I do like it. I'll get exposure to both sides, but I prefer Chepe.
Yeah, this is one where I'll be flexible. Like, I'll try and dial in some other fights ownership more. And if I was like 30% Chepe, I'd be fine. If I was 25, I might be fine. If I was 50, I probably would be fine. Let me check out Rio Tag me in Discord, NBA. But if like the Ricardo side, 510, fine. 520, fine. 535, that's when I'm bumping that max exposure farther down. I don't want 35% Ricardo, but yeah, I'll be here somewhere around the field. I think it's a solid fight. But again, Chepe can win and score 106 and still not be optimal because he's 9,400. That's also the problem with him as well. What's Josh saying? I've been more successful in MMA than NBA, and I know zero fights in every single NBA player. And that can be the story of DFS. Sometimes having no knowledge of anything, especially like a sport like MMA, it's so high variance, even if you know every single one. You have random stuff happen like nut shots that end the fight early in the main event to cause it to bust. And it's a smaller player pool. You don't stack fights. It's not surprising to hear that at all. So I'm glad you're having success in MMA, though, Josh. I hope it turns around for NBA, but stick with it. Or if you know you can't win, then don't stick with it. Part of having a great bankroll and being disciplined, if you're really bad at sports, sometimes taking them out, focusing on what you are good at is the best thing you can do. So, all right, let's keep it rolling. Actually, one thing I wanted to add on there. Good reminder for a lot of people if you don't know. If you are a member at SHIPIT Nation, we always preach getting your own process. How you do that? An education course can definitely help. We have it for MMA. We have it for NBA, also baseball, PGA, NFL. So if you are a member, more education, you can find the videos right there. All right, next fight on the card. This one should be a lot of fun. Danny Barlow, minus 305, taking on Sam Patterson, plus 255. Minus 400 for this fight to finish. Barlow, minus 160. Patterson, plus 285. Barlow, plus 205 in round one. Patterson, plus 750 in round one. Someone asked for some dogs. Colton, I'll give you a dog. Give me Sam Patterson in this one. It's striker versus grappler. It's Barlow the striker versus Patterson the grappler. I don't even think Patterson's awful on the feet. He's definitely hittable, and Barlow's got power. So if it's 15 minutes on the feet, it probably won't go 15. Barlow will catch him. But, man, Patterson gets a takedown early. Like, there's no way this fight should be minus 305. I'm playing both sides, but I will say Barlow's expensive. If he gets a second or third round knockout, might not be might not be enough. And I prefer guys like Marquez, Kape, Pinto, Chepe. That's probably it. But Barlow's going to be pretty high owned. Like the Pintos of the world, the Chepes of the world. I want to find 100. I want to find 200. I'll play some Barlow, though. Good props. I'm on Patterson, though. What about you?
That puts me on Patterson more than I was. I was a little interested in him. I think he should look to take the fight to the ground. I think minute-wise on the feet, I think he could hang in there, but I just don't trust his tall man defense with how hard Barlow can throw, and when he's aggressive, especially. I think if Barlow's aggressive on the feet, he probably knocks out Patterson, but if Patterson looks to wrestle, I think he's super live here. Either one of them could put up a high score, so I like both sides. Barlow's last fight, though, takes me off of it being a 5-star fight because I could see this being somewhat similar where it is a 15-minute striking match, and we don't want either side of that. So I prefer Barlow. I'm picking him to get a knockout, but you might sway me to a to a 3 and 3-star on this one, fighter-wise.
I like it. Anytime I can sway Big Marley, it feels good. One thing to note on this fight, open -225 to Danny Barlow. He took a decent amount of money for a little while, got all the way, or it got as low as -380, which was a couple days ago. And then Patterson's got some money back now, -305. Hey, Ben's on my side. Patterson by submission. Let's do it. That's what I'm hoping for as well. But solid fight in DFS. I will have more Patterson to the field than Barlow. One of my favorite dogs on the slate. Another one of my favorite dogs on the slate, Hyder Emil right here, +175, taking on William Gomes, -205, +160 for this fight to finish. Emil +300 inside the distance. Gomes +375. Gomes is definitely a fade. This dude is boring as all can be. In his 3 decision wins, 42, 64, and 80 DK points. Finally gets a third-round knockout, a big 69-piece DraftKings. I mean, what are we doing? If he's on optimal, I'll live to fight another day. Hyder Emil's really aggressive, though, so it's not like Hyder could just walk into something being so aggressive, and Gomes finds his way on the optimal and finds the chin. I'll need probably 50-plus teams, maybe even more to get Gomes, though. I ain't played him in 20 and below. I'll play some Hyder. Do you prefer Hyder or Sam Patterson? And then break down this fight, because that was one debate I had too.
I prefer Hyder because I'm picking him to win in this one. It's another one where I think it's just recency bias with Gomes beating Brito. That's a big name, and he looked good doing it. I think that he is a good fighter, but more so defensively. He just doesn't have any real offense that you have to worry about, especially on DraftKings. You said his scores 42 in a win. You get 30 for the win, man. Come on, what are you doing, Gomes? I hate that stuff. So yeah, there's no way I'm playing. I'm not playing him with 150. I'm gonna X him out. First thing I do is probably X him out. Second thing after Aldridge. And then I like Emil to win here, but I think his big ceiling would be a knockout. I don't think he can be as aggressive against Gomes. Gomes is so much harder to hit than anybody he's ever fought. So I think it's going to be a much slower pace, but he's still going to be the one pushing that pace, landing more volume, or at least throwing more volume. I think he's our more likely wrestler, probably just because of his pace. I just don't get the line. I already bet Emil here, Emil or pass, but I do worry about aggressive fighters when their opponents are hard to take down, fighters. Hard to hit. Yeah. Like who's it remind me of? Like man, I don't know, like
Dominic
Sunsao or something. Like a Sunsao, you might be able to beat a Sunsao back in the day, but I mean, you're just not going to score well against them. But yeah, I like Emil in this one. I just don't know how much on DraftKings I like Emil. I'll mix him in with all these other underdogs I like.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but Lynette scored 3. Wow. I do remember that fight. I did not know it was 34. That is insane. Oh, that's bad.
Was it 34? God,
it couldn't have been. That feels impossible.
I feel like it was 40, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely could be wrong too. 34, so he scored 4 points in the 15 minutes. Oh my gosh. That's insane. All right, let's keep it rolling to a fight where the winner definitely will not be scoring 44 points. And again, I said winner. I didn't say if a draw, DQ, some random stuff happens. I said if a fighter wins, they ain't scoring 44. Mario Pinto -515. Taking on Austin Lane +400. -350 for this fight to finish. Pinto -190. Lane +400 inside the distance. And then in round 1 for Pinto, +155. He's my favorite play on the slate if I just had to pick one. I think Austin Lane's garbage. Pinto should knock him out in round 1. Bigger, faster, stronger. Lane probably tries to wrestle when he realizes, I'm screwed. Doesn't work, gets knocked out. I will say, though, and I know, looks like you're fading Lane. You have 1 star. I will be playing him. The reason, one of the lowest owned fighters on the card, taking on one of the chalkiest fighters on the card in a fight -350 to finish. I mean, he beat Rebelo Spain. The Spain's that bad. What if Pinto somehow is that bad? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's a game theory play to play in chalky lineups and a good fight to target. I'm on the Pinto side for sure, though. How about you?
Yeah, Pinto or pass for me. I mean, Lane is live to win. He could wrestle. He's not a freaking wrestler. He just re-wrestled in his last fight. But I think the one weakness I saw from Pinto was being taken down and spending time on his back. But on the feet, it's knockout or bust for Lane, in my opinion, because Pinto's got a really good jab, and I just think he's going to work that jab as much as he wants to. And he's got more power too once he wants to unleash in this one. I don't like Lane's chances, and he's a guy that the UFC wants to feed to prospects to try and get that prospect a highlight reel, and I like to side with the UFC. So Pinto or pass in this one. I think if Pinto has his best performance and Chepe has his best performance, though, Chepe probably outscores him by like 20 points. Well, I mean, unless Pinto gets a first 60-second knockout.
Yeah.
But I think Chepe has a way higher ceiling, so I probably prefer Chepe. I like them both.
Yeah, they're my two favorite fighters. It's close between the two for me as well. All right, three fights left on the card. This one expected to go the distance, minus 255. Esteban Ribovics taking on Nazareth Hackpress, who's plus 215, plus 140 for this fight to finish. Ribovics plus 200 inside the distance. Hackpress plus 510. Some money coming in on the under. Ribovics open plus 235 inside the distance, now plus 200. This fight opened plus 160 to finish, now plus 140. The craziest thing, Nazareth opened the favorite at minus 210. 4 minutes later, instantly the line pretty much flipped. Ever since, Ribovics has been staying around this minus 250 mark. Yeah, I mean, Ribovics has looked good on the feet. I'm going to throw it to you. Break down the fight, but do you think Nazareth can wrestle in this one? Because that is most definitely where Ribovics is most liable.
Yeah, I think he could. I don't know how much he will, but I do think he's our more likely wrestler. I just think it's going to be an exciting striking match where both guys are striking at a high pace and a high level. Both of them are dangerous, but they're both durable. So I'm expecting 15 minutes. If this is a 15-minute high-paced striking match, I just think it's going to be so much easier for Hackpress to make the optimal lineup at his score. So he's my preferred play. I picked him also to win because I just think the line's too wide in this one. I think it's going to play out pretty close. Hackpress has faced the much tougher competition, beat the tougher competition, and Ribovic's takedown defense in that UFC debut was just so pathetic that I would want Hackpress to at least shoot for 1 or 2 each round just to keep them guessing. But yeah, I don't want to say Hackpress or pass because I'm not against using Ribovics, but I'm probably under on Ribovics, over on Hackpress is what I'm thinking.
Makes sense. The Ribovic side, the thing is he's just so powerful and he can just get downhill and get his combos going so fast when he has them hurt. I just can't fade him. And I think I prefer him to Castaneda too, because Ribovic can get a first round knockout. Like Hackpress is good, but Ribovic striking can be great. And he's powerful. He will throw combos. So by no means am I fading Ribovic. And at ownership, yeah, we have him one of the lowest owned. We have him the lowest owned in the 9K range. I think he has to be. So in chalkier lineups, and to be honest, at ownership, I probably like him more than Danny Barlow. I know that's a really hot take looking at props and everything. I'm picking Patterson. That's kind of why, and I'm picking Ribovic. But, yeah, I mean, Barlow's minus 155 to finish. Ribovic plus 200. So definitely a hot take. But I'm probably more overweight to Ribovic, or at least less underweight than I am when talking Barlow, since a lot of my stuff will go Pinto, Chepe up top. But, yeah, I'll be playing both of this fight. 3 stars, how I'd rank it as well. 2 fights left. 2 good. I mean, main event's almost always good to target. This one, an awesome co-main event to target. But why in the world is this the co-main event? Julian Marquez, minus 125. Cody Brundage, plus 105. Minus 400 for this fight to finish. Marquez, plus 110 inside the distance. Brundage, plus 150 inside the distance. Both guys plus 225 in round 1. I mean, I'll just throw it to you on that question. Why is this the co-main event and your favorite boy, Cody Brundage?
Dude, I have no idea. Like, let's give this guy a co-main event spot after he's bitched out twice so far in the UFC. I was hoping we never see this guy again, to be honest with you. And I'm hoping Marquez finishes him here. And now that's the case. We never see Brundage again. So I'm going to go heavy on Brundage or heavy on Marquez here because I do think he's our more dangerous fighter. I think he's a more dangerous striker in this one. I think he's a more dangerous grappler. He doesn't go for takedowns, though. All his submissions come when the other guy is going for takedowns, but that could definitely happen here because Brundage kind of needs to go for takedowns. The only real edge I give him, it would be wrestling, but he's not a good wrestler. He's not tough enough to fight cardio for 3 rounds. So I'm going to be low on Brundage. I think he does have a high ceiling here. So it's probably just more of a personal bias against him. but man, I just hate this guy. I swear in that last fight, I had one of them, and I needed the fight not to be a no contest. Whatever. I had the nuts without one of them. So I don't remember who it was, but man, I was so pissed.
That was Cody's last fight. Was it Al Hassan when he was beating his ass?
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, man, I was so
mad. And that's coming off of when I had 100% Malkoon, and I was like, God, I just hate this guy so much. So, I hope he gets finished in the first round. Go Marquez.
Yeah, I mean, 23-1 to get outstruck in that. Abdul was nuke. He was on his way to breaking the slate by a mile. Oh,
Brundage wanted none of that.
None of it. Just like the Malkoon fight, absolutely none. And then, hey, take your co-main event slot against Marquez, who's on what, a 5-fight losing streak or something awful. He's been knocked out in 3 straight. That's what it is. You can see 9-5 record. Hasn't been good for him, but has fought solid competition. It's a good fight to target. That's why it's probably the best fight to target on the card because it's priced in the mid-tier. Both guys great inside the distance props. But at the end of the day, I mean, some of the over has been hit a little bit. Was minus 400 Monday, now minus 350. If this fight somehow goes to decision, probably not good. But I'll have a lot of it for sure. All right, main event time. Like button, subscribe button. We appreciate it very much. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us today. Asu Almabayev is the underdog and taking this fight on short notice for Brandon Royval. Plus 185 he is, while Manel Kape minus 220. Plus 110 for this fight to finish. Plus 165 for Kape inside the distance. Almabayev plus 500. Kape in round 1 plus 700. Couple things to note. This fight opened minus 140 to finish. Now plus 110. A lot of money came in on the over. That's interesting. In terms of money line, Kape opened minus 250. Got all the way down to like the minus 350 range. Almabayev has taken money since. This fight's just like last week pretty much for the main event. Cejudo, the wrestler, the underdog, like Almabayev. Song, the striker, like Kape. I don't see Kape having wrestling upside. I think Almabayev needs to shoot. I mean, Cejudo didn't shoot. He definitely needed to, though. He was getting pieced up. My preferred play in this one is Almabayev. And I'm going to end up underweight Kape, overweight Almabayev, and I'll probably be overweight on the fight fades, just hoping Kape doesn't get a first-round knockout or break the slate. He can get a third-round knockout, not be optimal. He's plus 700 in round 1. That is not very good. He's competing with all those other guys up top. He definitely has the power and the skill. Just what Kape are we going to get? The aggressive one, not the aggressive one? If Almabayev wins, really hard to see him not being optimal. So, yeah, he's my preferred play. I don't know if he's my pick to win, but I don't really do that stuff. Like, I play the game theory, the DraftKings, underweight Kape, overweight Almabayev, probably overweight the fight stack. What are you doing?
Yeah, same thing. Underweight Kape, overweight Almabayev. I am picking Almabayev to win, but it's because of the line. I think that Kape should be a small favorite in this one. If this was a 3-round fight, I would bet Almabayev here. I think that the 4th and 5th round kind of helped the striker. because I do like Kape to have the striking edge in this one, and Almabayev should need to wrestle, but I don't know that he can wrestle or how long he can wrestle. And I think Kape will pick up the pace and kind of get more confident as the fight moves along. So that kind of makes me want to get away from it too. I probably move this down to a 4-star. I just always start main event 5-star, and then I just go down and then I change afterwards. But I kind of think I might go to 4, maybe even 3 on this one and be real low, or 20 or less. I'd probably fade Kape, to be honest with you, but I'll be like 10 to 15% with 150, maybe.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, something like that. 10 to 20 range. And then Almabayev, I don't want to get too much because I like so many underdogs on this card. But if he does win, he probably does put up a pretty good score. So I feel like I want at least 30%, but I don't want to go over 50, so somewhere in that range.
So, yeah, you'll definitely be overweight on the fight fade, which I like. I like being overweight on that too.
Yeah, originally I was thinking I'd get a lot more Almabayev and use Kape as a hedge, but man, as we go through, I feel like there's other fighters I'd rather target. We can leave some. I can get way different on this card, so probably just gonna do that.
For sure. I like it. Both of you and I agree on the main event. A lot of that we agree on this card. Any final thoughts you want to wrap up with before we get on out of here?
Not looking forward to trying out the Saber Sim. We were talking with Sheets in Discord. I would love to get a few tips on it because I really don't have a whole lot of experience myself. I've used some Saber Sim in the past, but it was just more like my free trials type stuff. Yeah. But I've been messing around with it, and I think it's pretty sweet. So I would like to get better at it. Hopefully Sheets can help us do just that. But yeah, if we could set up something, maybe a premium little small talk or something, I'd be down with that. But hit us up in the Discord if you have any questions. Good luck to you, Title. Good luck to everybody listening. Let's ship it.
Absolutely. And again, they do Saber Sim on YouTube does have videos too. Like type in Saber Sim MMA. If you have any questions what to do with Saber Sim, we do have a portion in the Discord. They've had so many videos out there though. They have office hours. Definitely try and look it up, learn about it, mess around with it. It is a lot of fun. Again, if you're not a member at SHIPIT Nation, so many deals, content only, Saber Sim partnership. If you're a member and you want to upgrade to Saber Sim, these prices will be going up after launch. $79 just the content, $99 with 150 lineups for Saber Sim, our core package, and content. $30 more, you get 350 more teams, and Saber Sim projection ownership for all the sports they offer, and contest flashback. The Ultimate has Sims, 4,500 more teams as well, can build 5,000. We'll be going up to $321 right there. ShipItNation.com is the place to be if you do join. Definitely do get in the Discord too. The best spot to be at. Hit the like, hit the subscribe on the way out. Helps a ton. Awesome stuff as always, Big Marley. For Big Marley, I'm Title Town. Be safe. Have a good night. Peace.